Welcome to the party, pal. Your friendly neighborhood Master Chaos back with you once again. Today, on this day, we're going to be diving back into the SHAWSCOPE box set for the second to last installment, Part 5.
Back from the dead.
Let's crack open the storybook to disc 7. We have the 5 Venoms and the Crippled Avengers. Now, this isn't, Iron Man in a wheelchair and Captain America on crutches. We'll start with the 5 Venoms. This is a classic film, one that most people know when not even just discussing Shaw Brothers, but discussing Kung Fu cinema in general. The 5 Venoms runs 1 hour and 42 minutes, thankfully. Directed by Chang Che, this martial arts classic is surprisingly light on action and fighting, and of course heavy on overly complicated plotting. Meet the 5 Venoms with 5 different styles, which include centipede, snake, scorpion, lizard, and toad style. Now, in the beginning, I was led to believe that the Venoms were bad guys, but as the story progresses, it turns out that some of them are good and some of them are evil or something like that. It gets a little muddled. To be honest, the biggest problem here is the problem we faced in the last few Shaw Brothers movies. There's so many characters in this movie, and I do honestly suffer from a little bit of face blindness, and because of that, it was kind of hard to keep track of what the hell was actually going on and who was who. I blame the script for a big portion of that, because the script is a meandering mess, and I honestly can't tell you what the movie is about because I don't 100% understand what the hell happened in it. I apologize for that, but I can only be honest with you when it comes to these reviews. That's the one thing I've promised you. I've promised you this a long time ago. I will never lie to you. I will be honest with you, no matter what. Here, the 5 Venoms is such a mess, in my opinion, that it was really hard to follow what the hell was going on. It was honestly hard to keep track who was who was bad, who was good. Like, some of the Venoms are bad, some of the Venoms are good guys. There's some kind of undercover work happening. I think they have to get somebody out of jail. It honestly, and this all falls on me. I checked out. I completely checked out of the movie. I couldn't give 2 shits. And I honestly, yes, I get it. I probably wasn't giving the movie the benefit of the doubt. But is it on me or is it on the movie? I mean, the movie does have something to do with the treasure and the death of an old man and the subsequent trial to find his killer, in which the good guys and the bad guys are involved. But overall, disappointing and certainly not something that kept my attention. In terms of special features, specifically for this movie, you get a commentary track by Simon Abrams. No surprise here, say what you will, but it's my feeling. 1 star on the 5 Venoms. Is it something I'll rewatch? No, because I feel the movie just fumbled its plot. This was an easy fucking plot. 5 guys in masks, different superpowers or whatever, different kung fu styles. You get 1 other guy to go hunt them down. That's your movie. Done. What the hell is all this crazy shit about treasure and courtrooms? And it just got so convoluted that I just stopped giving a shit. I finished it. I think, yeah, I finished it. But honestly, I don't know. I've honestly never been in this position before where something just completely left me feeling blank. I have no feelings about this movie. So 1 star. 1 star for 5 Venoms. However, I do have pretty strong feelings for Crippled Avengers, which in my opinion is quite ignorant. That's the best way to put it. Crippled Avengers runs 1 hour and 46 minutes. This movie decides to do a bait and switch plot-wise immediately after the first scene. In that first scene, we're introduced to a family that is attacked by a bunch of kung fu terrorists. They chop the mother in half, and then they cut the arms off of the son, only to have the father arrive and kill the assassins. The father promises to give his son metal arms with which to gain his revenge. And I'm thinking this movie's going to be the baddest ass story of a metal-armed dude getting revenge on the terrorist that killed his mother. Boy, that couldn't be further from the truth. That easy setup of a metal-armed guy going out killing people You still could have called it Crippled Avengers. Perfect. But that's not the movie we get. As a matter of fact, that metal-armed boy grows up to be the villain. He's the bad guy. Now, normally, I like when a plot takes a twist and surprises me. As a writer, I notice things and I pay attention to the construction. I pay attention to how things are written, how scenes are laid out, and I do love curveballs. That was a huge curveball. The problem is, the plot we actually get is unsatisfyingly ignorant. Let me explain. So our metal-armed guy is now the villain, and he goes around town crippling other people who get in his way because he's an asshole. So our titular Crippled Avengers are all people from around town that band together to get revenge on who I thought was going to be the hero of the movie. Now, like I said, this could be an example of sloppy screenwriting or genius screenwriting, and honestly, mileage may vary as to which is which. But let's meet our Crippled Avengers. We have 4 heroes. One is deaf, one is blind, one is paraplegic, and one is turned into an idiot. Yeah, turned into an idiot. You heard me correctly. Now, how do you turn someone into an idiot? Well, apparently, the Chinese think that a person can become mentally handicapped by just having their head squeezed. Yeah. They think you can turn somebody into a mentally handicapped person as I hate using this term, but as someone in the movie uses it, turn them into a retard by squeezing his head. By that fucking stupid logic, everybody in these movies should be dumb. Because everybody gets kicked in the head. So why isn't everybody just walking around going, boo? Because that's what happens to our crippled Avenger that is the dumb one. He just walks around going, boo, like a silly fucking idiot the whole movie. Do they actually think that's how that happens? Do they actually think squeezing somebody's head makes them stupid? It's almost so aggressively stupid that it ruins the movie for me. Anyway, our 4 crippled blue-collar folk get taken in by a kung fu master who trained them to take revenge. Now, I don't know how you train a blind person in martial arts, but they managed to do it. To add insult to injury, our 4 heroes have the same haircut and dress in all white. So I honestly couldn't tell who was who until they were focusing on their particular handicaps. As par for the course, we do get a lengthy, and I do mean lengthy, training sequence in which all 4 crippled Avengers learn the martial arts over what they say is a span of 3 years. And honestly, it feels like 3 years. Now, it's cool at first. It's super cool at first, but honestly, it gets a little tiresome after a while. That's just the first hour, by the way. The last 47 minutes of the movie is the revenge, and I gotta be perfectly honest, despite some excellent choreography and some pretty exciting fights, they went on for way too long, and honestly, I started to drift to sleep. Now, despite that early rug pull in the plot, this does become a pretty predictable movie. Crippled guys get revenge against the guys that crippled them. Now, I was expecting a variation of this with my original idea with the metal arms guy in the beginning, but here the story is so drawn out and milked to the bone that all the energy gets sucked right out and it just becomes a chore to watch, in my opinion. However, I did like this one a lot better than Deadly Venoms, only because I thought the fighting was not only much more prevalent in Crippled Avengers, but much more exciting and fun to watch. But you want to watch a better Crippled movie? Go watch Crippled Masters. That is a masterpiece film. A masterpiece film that has actual crippled people in it. That's right. There's a guy who has a malformed hand, and there's a guy who his legs don't work, so he has to kind of fight with his legs crossed, kind of like Mr. No Legs. Fucking good movie. Likeable characters, great story, and honestly, a masterpiece compared to Crippled Avengers, which is, I mean, none of them are really crippled. None of them are really crippled at all. It was all fake crippled people. The deaf guy isn't deaf. The blind guy isn't blind. The guy, the guy with no legs has legs. And of course, the dumb guy is just a dumb actor. 2 stars. 2 stars for Crippled Avenger. It's a poor film. It does not really hit all the right notes, but it's not absolutely terrible. There's things to like in it. Certainly the choreography is really good. The fighting is really good. But that's honestly where it lays with me. I know we'll probably disagree, and that's okay. We don't have to love everything equally. I will say this. I'm announcing this now. Volume 2. I'm on the fence about getting it. If I do get it as a screener, I will have to review it, but I won't be doing a deep dive into it like this because, frankly, I'm exhausted. Special features for Crippled Avengers that you can also find on the 5 Venoms portion of the disc is an interview with Lo Meng, runs about 19 minutes, and he appears in both films, by the way. Then you get a 17-minute doc on the director Chung Che, who directed both of these films. It features glowing remembrances from not only his cast and crew, but well-known modern-day directors like Mr. John Woo himself. Go out and spread some joy and some love. I think it's important that we do that every once in a while, whenever possible. That's your homework for the day. Go out and do that. Give someone, well, I was going to say give someone a high five, but it's COVID. Maybe give someone a fist bump or say, hey, thank you for everything you're doing. I appreciate your help. You know, you're at a grocery store and the lady ringing you up say, hey, thank you. You really helped out a lot. Small little things brighten people's day. If we all do one little thing, hey, maybe the world gets a little better incrementally. And they'll spread it on. And they'll spread it on. You know how it is. You've seen the movie. Okay, pal. I love you very much. Take care of yourselves. Signing off for now.